What's going on, YouTube? Yes! I'm a freaking rapper.
Forget about that, I got better things to talk about, like standing up for all these kids that suffer from self-doubt.
And yeah, I'm a nerd. I play games. Let's see if I can guess this right. Oh! I'm a fuck! Clip that shit! Oh my god! I'm a god with grenades. Anyways, today, you guys, we're gonna be talking about two pieces of equipment in this Phasmophobia equipment guide series. Today, hold up, let me backtrack. I do need to mention that this series was inspired by another creator by the name of Coozie. Please click the links in the description down below to go check him out and give him his flowers. He's a very talented creator and a really great guy, so please make sure you go give him his flowers. Anywho, today we're going to be talking about two pieces of equipment today. Today we are going to be talking about the motion sensor and the salt. Mainly because there is a strategy behind how these are used, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in this episode. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop talking the talk and let's walk the walk. Alrighty, you guys, we are in the truck. We are at Tanglewood. If you guys would like to understand why Tanglewood is my favorite map that I play on, please click the info tab in the top right-hand corner right now to find out why I love Tanglewood so much. Anywho, let me describe the difficulty that I'm playing on for those of you that are curious. I am playing a custom difficulty with the preset of Nightmare. The only difference is, I'm sure you can see, is the sanity and activity board are on and functioning. I have the breaker turned on as well, and I have all three evidence types turned on, so that way I can get through these videos quicker without having to worry about dying and starting over. Anywho, today we're going to be talking about this wonderful piece of equipment, the motion sensor, and this wonderful piece of equipment, the salt. This is both tier 1 items, so let's go in, let's find the ghost room, and let's set up. Jesus Christ. Okay, so we have found the ghost room, i.e. the ghost event that just happened and scared the absolute life out of me. So let's go ahead and turn these lights off, actually, so I can show you guys how these pieces of equipment work. So with the motion sensor, it can be placed on the wall or it can be placed on the floor. However, when it comes to the salt, I like to place a pile down, and with the tier 1 salt, you could, whoa, that was crazy. With the tier 1 salt, you can only place 2 piles for each use that you use. I didn't know how else to say it, but with the motion sensor, you can place it on the wall, and you can turn it on and off by just clicking on it. I usually like to place these at least a little bit higher, and I like to place it above the salt because once the ghost steps into the salt, it can trigger the motion sensor as well, and you will have that optional objective to detect the ghost with a motion sensor. As I say that, it happens, and so it will give off a very bright light. So you got to be careful with this because you yourself can trigger the motion sensor as well. And then with the tier 1 salt, obviously, as you saw, it will leave a footprint when the ghost steps inside of it. As I said, you only get 2 uses per thing of salt that you have, so please make sure you use it sparingly. But this ghost is going back and forth into that motion sensor, as you can see. So the motion sensor will trigger when a player passes through, when the ghost passes through, when the airball effect passes through. For those of you that don't know what that is the airball effect that goes in your ear or whatever. Or when an object gets thrown and it passes through. So let's try that right now. Bop. Oh, let me do a better throw. Hoo-yah! Just like that. But yeah, that bright light that you see, once we pass through, it will shine for about 2 seconds. So 1, 2, boom, 1, 2. Thank you, Ghost, for demonstrating this with me. One way to look at when the motion sensor is tripped is by looking at one of the screens on the truck. So as you can tell, we're looking at the laundry room right here on the map for Tanglewood. There's a little red bar that indicates where we placed the motion sensor. So when the ghost passes through, it will give off a little beep and a green line will show once that motion sensor has been triggered. So boom, there it is right there as we're done explaining it. That's the tier 1 motion sensor in a nutshell and the tier 1 salt in a nutshell. Nothing really special about that. So let's move on to tier 2, shall we? Alrighty, you guys, we are back in the truck and we are going to be checking out our tier 2 salt and our tier 2 motion sensor. A little bit of a different look. So let's go into the house. Let's try to find where the ghost room is and let's talk about these items. Well, all right, perfect. We just found the ghost room. Anywho, so I'm going to place this motion sensor right here on this part of the room. So now, as you can see, we have that red light right there. However, it has a different chronicle mode that you can switch to that gives off 2 red lights just by clicking on it. And then once you click it again, it will turn it off. So we're gonna switch to this little chronicle mode because now we have 2 different parts of the room where the ghost could possibly trigger the motion sensor. And now let's talk about the tier 2 salt. So the tier 2 salt has 3 uses versus the 2 uses that the tier 1 had, and it's a long pile of salt instead of a little circular pile that we saw with the tier 1. So we're gonna place those down. You can place up to 3 like I said before, and it has a different look when you better still be in this room, buddy. However, it has a different look about it when it steps in it. So I'm gonna see if we can get it to step in it while we're here so you guys can see what that pile looks like. But yeah, with the tier 2 motion sensor, just like the tier 1, you can see the indicators of what that... Okay, you know what? We're just gonna move. We're gonna move. We're gonna move. Boom. Okay, now let's go get more. Oh wait, we don't have any more tier 1 salt, tier 2 salt because I only brought 1. Oh, there we go. It stepped in it. So this is the imprint of what it looks like when it steps into the tier 2 salt. And yeah, that's pretty much all that you need to know with the tier 2 motion sensor and salt. And just like the tier 1, it will show on the map where you placed it in the room and will beep and indicate when it gets triggered in the house. So yeah, this ghost is crazy. Let's move on to the tier 3 so we can be sane again. Alrighty. We're back in the truck. And we are here to talk about our tier 3 video camera look and motion sensors and our tier 3 black salt. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's grab these and let's go inside, find the ghost room, and let's talk about them. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I found where the ghost room is, so we're gonna take a moment to go ahead and place this stuff down and talk about it. So with the tier 3 motion sensor, we can only place it on the floor, and it has this little radius around it that you can see, and it's only a 1.5 meter range. So when the ghost steps within the range, the little camera that's rotating around will point directly at where the ghost is and then reset back to normal once it's done picking up the movement. So let's test this. So it won't pick up our movements per se, I don't think. So yeah, it won't pick up our movement. So I'm gonna place this tier 3 salt down. So the tier 3 salt, oh, I'm being hunted? Oh, it busted a light. I thought I was being hunted. That's okay. So with the tier 3 salt, let's talk about the tier 3 salt. Okay, boom. So you just saw it trigger the motion sensor and it stepped in the salt. So the tier 3 salt has a similar imprint that the ghost has when it steps in it as the tier 2 salt. So you get 3 uses out of the tier 3 salt, just like the tier 2, and it leaves a similar imprint as the tier 2 salt. The difference is with the tier 3 salt, if you have it placed down and the ghost has not stepped in it, when it's hunting you and it does step in it, it will slow the ghost down. It will reduce the ghost speed by 50%, giving you more of a chance to get away from the ghost. See, look, the ghost is right over here somewhere. It just pointed back that way. The only ghost that interacts differently with the salt than all the other ghosts in the game is a wraith. The wraith will not step in salt. Let me repeat that. The wraith will never step in the salt. So if you're playing a contract and you find the ghost room and you get all the evidence and you're trying to figure out what the ghost is, place one pile of salt in the room of where the ghost is, and if it does not step in it at all, you know it's a wraith. Anyways, that's the tier 3 salt and motion sensor in a nutshell. Not a whole lot to them, but enough for you to know. Oh, and I forgot to mention, in the truck on the monitor, it will show that radius in the house of where you place the motion sensor. Like I said, once the ghost enters the radius of the motion sensor, it will trigger it, and this orange dot that you see on the screen will turn green. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Phasmophobia Equipment Guide series. I know there was a lot of information in this one, so please feel free to rewind and rewatch any of the details that you may have missed, or if you have any questions, please make sure you post them in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to try to answer each and every single one. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you leave a like, and if you learned something new, make sure you tell me in the comments down below, or if you have any info that you want to share yourself, please make sure you share it in the comments down below. And please, for the love of God, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that way you can be notified anytime a video gets posted in the future. Once again, this series was inspired by Coozie, another creator when it comes to Phasmophobia. Please click the links in the description to his channels down below and make sure you give him his flowers. He's a really great guy, and I want to make sure that he feels the love and support when it comes to creating content related to Phasmo. Anyways, if you want to see more episodes of this series in their entirety, please click the playlist to the right-hand side. And if you want to see a game of 4 dudes just messing around in Phasmo, please click the video below that. It's super hilarious, super funny, and there's an incredible jump scare towards the end, so please make sure you don't miss that. Anyways, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!